Okay. Hopefully the audio is working.
Hello.
We're supposed to get better at this, not worse. So, hello everybody, welcome. I'm using the streaming software this time, so it should work. So,
But Dave, what if it doesn't?
that wouldn't be very surprising. So we ended up, watching or starting on time, even though I had to do a last minute thing. Hey, Universal Junkie. So it is working. Cool. Sorry, I didn't realize there was a chatbot last time. Brian was looking at the chat because it was a little bit closer. I didn't see it. So we have it on a separate window, and I think we can fix that now. So let's start with Halloween Horror Nights. It was recently announced, I'm looking at the wrong camera, that Halloween Horror Nights will be 10 nights this time.
10 nights. A whole 10 nights for you to enjoy. No, 10 houses.
10 nights. Just kidding. It's 10 houses. Which, no, I haven't.
Yeah, supposedly there's a map out already, just like last year.
Yeah, but it's not the official map, so it could be accurate. It could be completely wrong. Last year's map was close, but not quite accurate. But we're trying to figure out where the 10th house is going to be.
Now, you had the idea of where Terminator was.
I did not.
Oh.
Somebody I work with said it could be where the Terminator 2 show was. Doesn't look like it. I know that the floor was kind of slanted, so that would be kind of hard. Same 5 scare zones that has been there before. And Academy of Villains is coming, so that means hurricanes. All right. So, 2 years in a row, they brought the hurricane, so, of course. And as we said last time, this guy.
I'm going to be a scare actor this year.
And for the first time ever, we're going to go to Legoland's Brick or Treat on the first night. So that's going to be an interesting thing. We're taking the night off to go out to check that out. I understand that's kind of like the SeaWorld.
SeaWorld Spooktacular.
Which we should have something back there for it. And so I guess we found a day not to stream on because we have not very many people.
Well, give it a few minutes. I'm sure it'll pick up. But I'm a scare actor again this year. If you guys didn't know, I was in The Shining. Cast A at the end of the Hall of Mirrors. Great party, isn't it?
And you're going to be Cast A again.
Uh-huh.
Which will make it easier to go see him because you know when he's going to be there because as soon as it opens.
I should be on set.
Yep. For about 45 minutes.
Yeah. Or the first set is 30? So something like that. But if you go to my house, like the first thing, you'll see me.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't know what house that is yet. It may be a super busy house. It may not be.
I'm hoping it's a super busy house.
Yeah. It'll just be if you want to go see this guy when the park first opens. It might be tricky because if it's something super busy, then you might have to be in a line.
Universal Junkie went through The Shining 6 times on the last night. Thank you for that. What were you wearing that night, Universal Junkie? Do you remember?
So also, I'm not returning to the to attractions again to be an attendant because things got kind of weird last year. I was an attendant for Ash vs. Evil Dead, which is a show which was recently, unfortunately, canceled. But it was a fun house. People didn't like how far you have to walk. But I know that there's a new building back of house that they're thinking, people are saying that maybe that's where the new house is going to be. But if you didn't like walking to Ash vs. Evil Dead, if that's where it's going to be, it's going to be even a longer walk. It probably won't be there, but if it were, it would be a longer walk than that.
Unless they figure out a way to go through a shortcut.
There is no shortcut. It's,
Okay.
You know where that building is, right? It's physically farther away than any guest entrance.
Okay.
So it has to be farther. There's no way, without them bringing an army of golf carts and carting people over and back, which isn't, not going to happen.
That won't work.
But or a moving sidewalk. The moving walkway exit is approaching. Please watch your step. So I'm not going to be a scare actor because I do some freelance work, and September is when it's going to pick up again, and I get paid way better. So the thing with that's great about Halloween Horror Nights is you get lots and lots of hours. That's not so great if you are trying to do work that pays better.
Yeah.
So also today they actually announced some of the plans for the new.
Yeah, I saw. He was wearing a shining shirt and brought a cup.
Oh, right, for you.
Oh, yeah. I was like, oh yeah, you brought a cup. Oh, and then I didn't even realize it. Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you, Universal Junkie.
Yeah, he said that he came up to you with the cup when you did your scare.
Then I think I do remember that because there were a few guests I ended up clinking glasses with because they had like their blinky cup or whatever. And when I did the cup raise, they were like, "Oh yeah, clink." But I think I remembered that on the last night. I think I do.
So also today, Universal announced the replacement for a few details about the replacement for the Cinematic Spectacular. It's going to be called the Cinematic Celebration. As you imagine, features Jurassic World, Fast and Furious, and of course the Minions are still going to be part of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much all. Okay. I don't know why the chat just disconnected. Sorry.
Well, keep on going.
But of course it has the Minions still in it, and I'm not sure what else. I mean, obviously they're going to keep things like E.T. As well, but
and probably classic movie moments.
Yeah. So that's all we know so far. They're still building the seating over in the lagoon area. The actual show itself seems to be finished and ready, except for they're starting to actually put in the projectors, which are facing the buildings actually. Hopefully, Universal Junkie can get back in. I hope that didn't kick everyone off the stream. I'm not quite sure what just happened, but I am using Ecamm Live, but I'm not using it directly. I'm actually I'm sending it to the server, this needs to go away. The server, which is YouTube, which allows me to not log into my YouTube account through Ecamm Live, which I'm still not really sure if I want to do that, but I haven't really heard anything from people who know about security, account security and stuff like that, because once I have my login information, they can go into my account settings and all that, so and I will be going pretty soon on the 23rd. This guy's going to be working. The downtown library in Orlando is going to be having a celebration for Harry Potter, calling it the Potterversary. It's Saturday, June 23rd. So I'm going to be. They can't see you.
Oh.
June 23rd. So I'm going to be there early and show you around the library because they have some signs that day to show people that the recording is going to be happening, that media is going to be around. I tried to go in there and shoot some of the Melrose Center, and they said, well, people don't want to be on camera sometimes, and but this time they'll have signs around. So, anything interesting happening with you?
Well, I'm just proud I got cast again for Horror Nights. I was watching for the reunion auditions, and I had to join a standby list through email. But then they sent me an email saying, "Yeah, come on in," and then I had to wait because I am internal with Universal. Some scare actors, they don't really work for Universal directly; they just do Horror Nights. So they had to talk to my management, and but I got it. Cast A, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
Other than that, nothing too exciting.
Yeah.
Just
So, being this is only our second show, and the first one was we had a pretty live chat room. I don't know how much of that was the bot. But it seemed like there was a bunch of people.
no, the bot only posted once.
Oh, okay. So this seems to be inconvenient time for everybody. So leave a comment once this is posted as a video on demand as to what time and days work for people. Try to at least put it in your time zone so you can figure out where what time and day that is for us. You don't necessarily have to do the math. Just make it so we can figure it out. Last time was weekend, was it?
Was it a weekend? It was a Thursday.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, all days are the same to me. I can't. I lose track.
I do know that the UK is 5 hours ahead of the East Coast, and the West Coast is 3 hours behind the East Coast. So, 3 o'clock is 8 o'clock at night in the UK, and 1 in the afternoon on the West Coast. Now, time zones always are a tricky thing to line up, especially if you have people from all over the world.
Yeah.
It's late at night in one area and not quite late in another area, and yeah, so it's always a very difficult thing to line up.
So I guess we'll go ahead to our segment here. I'll be right back.
BRB, JK,
Rawlings.
OMG. Dave, what do you have there, Dave?
Brian. It's a box, Brian.
It's a box? What kind of box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
So, today's segment of Dave and Brian are trying stuff. We have Voodoo Donut Box. Ooh. And inside
Is some dead waters.
oh yeah, that too. The new, still not showing up correctly on screen, the new Universal Cream Donut from Voodoo Donut. It's supposed to be frozen, but I had to run out and buy it because I forgot. I forgot to get it because I had to bring my iMac in today, and because it's randomly restarting by itself.
Yeah, that's not good.
And that kind of threw my timeline off. So, not quite frozen, but
The thing that means
Hold
you
on.
might be getting kernel panics.
oh, I know I am.
Okay.
What I have to figure out is why.
Okay.
So I tried this once before, and I thought it'd be very more orange. It's basically a creamsicle, but in a donut form. So there's obviously cream inside. Now you can see it comes on a stick.
I think it's good.
It's pretty good. I just wish the orange flavor was a little stronger. First time, put it in a bag, or they put it in a bag and tried to show it on camera, and this part was all squashed already, so that didn't work so great.
I do like how it tastes more like ice cream. Oh.
Now this flavor, this variety of donut is only available at Universal Orlando. And, of course, because this is Orange County, and Central Florida used to be all about growing oranges. I mean, well, there used to be a lot of orange groves around here long ago. That's why the tie-in to oranges. Now, what would have been great, although not really unique to Orlando anymore, and the licensing would be a problem, would be a butterbeer donut. So basically like shortbread donut and butterscotch icing.
Hey, Dave. Do you think they're going to have a Hard Nights donut?
No.
Why not?
Why would they?
Why wouldn't they? It's for Hard Nights. What? What?
Why would they have a Hornets donut?
Why what? Why not?
Why would they? So this is the exclusive flavor for Universal Orlando. I keep trying to bite down through it, and there's a stick. And any crumbs are being quickly eaten by the two dogs here.
Yeah.
So there's a show. They also just recently they just posted this less than an hour ago on the Universal Twitter. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but something on sci-fi Potter related. I guess you don't know anything about that.
I know the Sci-Fi Channel is getting Harry Potter. So that's all I know. I haven't watched sci-fi in a long time, so I do know that they're getting Harry Potter. You know, the rights to show Harry Potter movies and all that.
Oh, that's probably what it is then.
Yeah.
Because it's saying it has a new home.
Oh yeah. Then it's Harry Potter.
And also there's a lot of video from the celebration of Harry Potter. So I was thinking that maybe they were announcing the dates.
Maybe. But
that's not what it's about. But they even showed last year we saw a dog that was Harry Potter cosplay. That they put. I guess they had a little area where they were interviewing the people who were there at the celebration of Harry Potter, and they interviewed all those people. So that I saw that right before, and I'm like, oh, what's this? And still not sure what's going on in Jurassic Park, but we're thinking that it's probably going to be where the Triceratops area was. It's too bad they're not going to bring that back, but we'll find out.
Yeah. I am looking forward to Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom.
You are?
Yeah. Looks like it's going to be a cool movie.
I didn't even know it was coming out.
Yeah.
I thought it was only Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom coming out.
Oh, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Did I say park?
I think so.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to that.
Maybe I'm wrong. And unfortunately, I was not able to go to... You get out of there. You, go. I was not able to go to the social media meetup. Of course, you're petting her, so you're encouraging her to stay around and catch all the chocolate.
And hi, Matt and CJ Elliott.
Oh, hey. Thanks
I
for
look
coming.
Old, I'm sorry.
We're dying here. Because the sign up for it, I was on the computer like at 8 a.m. on the day I needed to be. Clicked on one link, immediately clicked on the other button. It was gone. That fast.
That's Horror Nights appointments as well. You have to be on the computer and you have to sign up to go to your audition, and it fills up in like 10 minutes. This was even faster. It was like a few seconds.
Yeah, and there were actually more people there this time than the Fast and Furious social media meetup. That one went so fast that Tim didn't even make it there. I was surprised.
Yeah.
But tried to go, but if this continues like that, I guess I'm not going to be able to go to any of them, which is unfortunate.
Mm.
So I have a question for you guys. Either in the live chat, which doesn't seem to show up when the stream is replayed, unfortunately. But if not, the comment section below. This time I remember to, I'm starting to learn how to do this a little better. In the description for the live chat, I have my Amazon link. So this software cost, it was supposed to be $80. I actually got it 20% off, but still. I still want to add more stuff to this streaming setup. So that's there. And then, of course, the Patreon. Sorry, J.O. I meant to put that as an overlay in the beginning of the video. But we'll get there. That's a link in the description as well. So I lost track of where I was going there.
You were talking about the social media meetups.
Yeah, I was going somewhere else with that, but we weren't able to go to that. But oh no, I was talking about for those who are watching still. I have a question for you.
Oh yeah.
If someone goes and reviews something, a product or a service or a show or whatever, something that anybody else would have to pay for, and they get it for free, do you think that would you want to know that they got that for free, or do you think it doesn't change the review? So please leave that in the comments section below or in chat how you feel about that. So if someone gets a product or service for free and is reviewing it, do you think that should be disclosed? So, staying in Versus Studios. Busch Gardens is about like around an hour and a half away. There is a shuttle that will pick you up right from Universal that takes you over there and back. SeaWorld's closer. I'm not sure as far as transportation. You might be able to get a Lyft or a Goober.
Lyft.
Or something like that, but it's not very far. Maybe 15, 20 minutes, depending on traffic, maybe even less.
And some hotels, actually a lot of hotels, do a shuttle service to some other parks as well. The Busch Gardens one is a little more complicated, but if you take... There is over by the Icon 360, right? That shuttle for Busch Gardens?
No.
Where's the shuttle for Busch Gardens?
Icon 360 is Merlin. It's from our bus hub. I just said that.
Okay.
From our bus hub, where the proper guest pickup and drop off area is.
Oh, okay.
Is where you take the shuttle. You have to reserve it with, once again, Mears per transportation, but you can take that shuttle over for Busch Gardens, and I'm sure. Okay, I don't know if there's a shuttle directly from the World Pacific. SeaWorld used to be owned by the same company that owns Universal, but not anymore. Of course, it's Comcast, NBC Comcast, or Comcast and NBC, one of those two. They all own everything.
Yeah.
That isn't owned by, Hey. What?
Phenomenal brandy.
Okay. It's okay. We were running a little late too because I forgot to pick up the Universal Cream from Voodoo Donut, and as I was setting up, my alert went off. I was like, "Oh no," because as I mentioned, my iMac is having problems. This is going to be. I think they're going to replace the logic board. That's going to be the third time that they replace the logic board, and like I told this guy, if you buy a Mac or an iPhone, usually they don't have these problems, but always get the AppleCare, the extended AppleCare, because this is the third logic board, and I've only paid like $200 something for the extended AppleCare. And the next step is they're going to replace the entire computer if it still doesn't work, which I said, okay, maybe the logic board will work, but seems from like an accounting standpoint that would make more sense to replace the computer sooner, because the logic board is pretty much everything in the computer except for the power supply and the speakers and the solid state drive, but it's the CPU. And also not the RAM, but it's the CPU. It's the graphics card. It's most of the components. The inputs and outputs, like the USB and the Ethernet, and it's the majority of what costs money in the computer. So, being that they've replaced it several times, but that's the procedure they had to follow. Kind of made me wish I bought a laptop, because dragging a 27-inch iMac into the Apple Store, I know is very first worldly of a problem, but it's big and heavy.
Yeah.
That's the only time when having a 27-inch iMac is not good. Otherwise, it's great having all that screen real estate. So, now to you, Brian.
All right. Phenomenal Brandy wants me to talk more about the Starflyer. And I wish I could have brought the GoPro on the gimbal, right?
Yeah.
I had a wristband, so even if I dropped it, it wasn't really
a strap. It was strapped onto his arm, so if you dropped it, it would dangle, and it might make it a little breaky, but it wouldn't fall.
Yeah. But the ride attendant said no, and so I was like, all right, so it was at night. The biggest thing I can talk about is it's very windy up there.
Yeah. Which, of course, anytime you go up higher, it's going to get windier, and then you're moving around.
Yeah.
So.
I thought it was going to be a lot more intense than it actually was. I go on all these big roller coasters, and I go on Falcon's Fury, and I've been flying through the air and twisting around, and going all over the place. It's a very smooth ride. I thought it was gonna. I thought it was gonna be more scary than it ended up being, but.
Which I was surprised, because you don't get scared about much.
Yeah, this time I was thinking it was different, because I'm in a seat 400 feet in the air, and that's pretty much it. So now keep in mind that I am a roller coaster veteran, so
He's a little nuts.
Keep that in mind. Someone else could be, oh, it's not that bad, and they're going to be like, oh, up there.
Yeah, meanwhile, I've watched videos of people who went on that ride, and I got nauseous watching the videos. So, not for everybody. And I've heard from a lot of people who are like, no. That's me.
It was at night, so I couldn't quite see the horizon, but you can see plenty from up there.
That's the only thing that was not as bad. Like if we were able to get the camera up there, it would have been better in the daytime, but that's not when we went. So
yeah, I could see. Now keep in mind you are going around 50 miles an hour, so you can't stop and
It's like a circle pit in the sky.
I could see pretty much the skyline of Disney. I could see, whatever else you could see from up there.
I know a lot of people say like, "Oh, it's this great view." I'm like, but it's virtually the same view from the Icon Orlando 360. It's you're not spinning.
Yeah, and if you go in the 360, you can actually take your time and look at things.
Yeah. It's like there it is again.
There it is again. Yeah, pretty much. The guy who was next to me, he was like, "Oh, this is so great. I wonder what we can see." I was like, "Well, all of that is Disney."
And there's again. There's again.
It's just when you get up that high, if you've never been on the Icon 360 or go on the Starflyer, it's kind of impressive, like how much land Disney has, but like seeing it from the air and okay, that is Magic Kingdom, and all the way over there is Animal Kingdom. It's kind of impressive that Disney takes up like a quarter of our skyline
from that far away too.
Yeah,
it's a decent distance away from it, and the fireworks look like they're really huge and go up really far when you're at Disney, but when you're as far away as we were, like okay, they're still huge and they're still really high, and you get even a better scope of just how ridiculously wide some of those fireworks explode to. I'm not sure what scale, but it's huge.
Yeah. So the Starflyer is pretty fun. If you get nervous about heights or any kind of like wind, you may want to consider it, or because like there's no in between. There's no like a okay, we're only going to go up halfway on this ride. There's no you're going all the way up and you're going around.
Kind of like this guy on the Mummy, Revenge of the Mummy. When I was halfway through the ride and realized, not even halfway, and realized it was a roller coaster, and we were already going, so it was too late.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've this year, I actually live broadcast one of the Mardi Gras parades, and I also live broadcast the final Terminator 2 show. But it's hard enough to set up all this in our apartment, so I don't think we can really do this in the parks very easily. It'd be difficult.
I mean, maybe not like a full thing, but maybe like kind of like, I don't know. You could live stream the Academy of Villains show, or
yeah, but that's not really. I think you're saying live vlog like the whole show, something like that. But it's kind of hard because it's anywhere you go in the park is going to be loud. And then if YouTube scans it for copywritten stuff, it's going to be a whole list of music that's flagged. So unfortunately, that's going to be tough. We are staying at the Aventura on 16th. Not sure how much time we'll have and what kind of view we'll have, or what kind of internet we'll have. But, I mean, it's possible we can try it then. It'd be pretty cool if we have the background of the park. But it's just in here we can control. I can control a lot of things: the light, the audio, the internet, and all that. So maybe we'll look into it. Hopefully, live show number 3 will go better than number 2. But
this isn't so bad.
It was a really bad start.
But I was kind of thinking you could do a, if you wanted to, a live stream of Horror Nights, like going to the park, and
it's gonna be tough though, because when you're live, you can't like edit. If I go and shoot a video, then I could be in the front of the park, and then I could be in the back of the park, and then I could be somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then here I am in line. Oh, here's my reaction. If I did it live, it would have to be, here's 45 minutes of streaming in line.
Yeah, but I mean, we could watch the chat, and who knows? It's just an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does go smoother when we do Horror Nights the traditional way, where
And the other thing is that the Wi-Fi is spotty, so I might end up with an overage charge from AT&T, because if I keep streaming and the Wi-Fi drops out, which it does, that could be $15, $30 in overage charges for streaming. So that'd be tricky too.
Okay. So I guess the Horror Nights videos will probably be the old school way.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I went by earlier. It's not a whole lot more to see, but I'm going to try to get out there. It's when it was wet and wild, we could park in the parking lot, but that parking lot is closed. It's going to be the second building of the Endless Summer, and I could try parking in like the KFC or whatever restaurant that is, but it's just tow away. I don't know how much they're enforcing that. That was probably back in the Wet and Wild days where people would park over there, and because you had to pay to park for Wet and Wild, people probably tried parking in like the Walgreens parking lot and just walking over there and having the car there for hours, and they had to tow people's vehicles. But the signs are still there, and I don't want to get towed, so I probably am going to have to walk from the Royal Pacific, which I've done. But it's quite a walk. There's really not much you can see up close that you can't see from the Sapphire Falls parking garage right now.
And by the way, you can reserve rooms for the Endless Summer as of now.
Yeah. And also, Halloween Horror Nights tickets are on sale.
No, he says like on the night he goes.
Yes. If it's not sold out, but I don't know how often that happens.
Yeah, just be careful, Matt, because the first 2 weeks should be okay, but like peak nights, like Friday and Saturday, like in October, those tend to sell out, and Express will sell out. So what you could do is you could go like very early in the day and buy your ticket just so you know you've got it and you don't have to worry about it, and then go do whatever else, and maybe buy Express if that's what you want to do.
Express you can buy on the day.
But it does sell out.
That's true. But our ideas, philosophy has always been like, don't go to, if you can, don't buy theme park tickets at the theme park. Buy them ahead of time. That might have been harder like back in the day, but now with the ability to buy tickets online, I would definitely buy them in advance as early as you can.
And you could go to Publix and buy them.
But if you're not a Florida resident, I believe when you turn in those tickets for the actual pass, they require proof of residency. For Halloween Horror Nights, it's Florida or Georgia resident.
Oh.
It's only for Halloween Horror Nights. For the daytime operation, it's only Florida. I forgot to ask if we sound good. I didn't get a good sound check in before.
How do we sound, guys?
The levels look pretty good, but it's hard to say. That's the problem with going by levels. Is the levels could be at the right level, but you could be monitoring sound.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's quite a while.
Yeah.
4th, 8th of September. Are you going only one night? Because at that point, you probably should buy a multi-night pass because it'll be cheaper. Even if you don't go to Halloween Horror Nights, I don't know how many between the 4th and the 18th of September. I don't know how many actual nights of Halloween Horror Nights that is, but
well, the opening night is 14th, so so Friday 15th is Saturday, and Sunday the 16th, and I guess that'll be it because he's leaving Tuesday, so and they're not running that Wednesday.
That's definitely more than 1 week.
Yeah, but he's doing the other parks.
Oh, thank you. All right, but if you're going more than one night, even if just take a look at the multi-night versus one night. Okay, cool. I'm glad it sounds good. Thank you. It could be cheaper, or about the same price. It seems like, well, if I'm only going 2 nights, then maybe not. But
Well, Matt, look into the Russia Fear, not Frequent Fear, Russia Fear.
Not the Russian Fear.
Russia Fear is the Horror Nights season pass for the first 2 weeks. It's not the full event season pass. That's Frequent Fear, and then there's different levels of Frequent Fear. But if you get like Russia Fear for whatever it is, and even though you're going that only opening weekend, it might be worth it because two Halloween Horror Night tickets might be upwards of like $200, something like that.
Yeah, and also there's the I forget the details. There's the buy one get one free.
Yeah,
which is new to this year, so that's why we're not as familiar with it. But that might be good as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's how many weeks in is before they start doing Wednesdays. I know it seems earlier this year.
Maybe the first 2 weeks, something like that. I don't know. I need the calendar in front of me.
So, yeah, that's at least 7 nights because there's the 4th would be Thursdays start later, right? No, do we do Thursdays? I know I'm sorry.
Yeah, Thursdays. Yeah,
so
always
the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and then 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th. So that's quite a few nights. So I would definitely look into a multi-night pass.
Yeah.
The good thing about that is if it costs less than like 2 passes for one night, I mean, you really can walk into Horror Nights for like 2 hours or 1 hour and, on multiple nights and spread it out.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to feel like, oh my gosh, we got to do everything tonight because we only have 1 night or 2 nights.
Yeah.
So
what we did when
You're welcome.
we traveled up and stayed as guests, we didn't get express, and we saw everything within 2 nights.
yeah, last year was really, really dead in the first few weeks or something.
Yeah.
I worked an entire shift during Halloween Horror Nights. I only had like maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and I saw like 5 houses. That's unusual.
Yeah.
I don't know if people were upset about The Walking Dead being gone. Maybe they thought that Bill and Ted were already gone. Last year it still happened. This year it will not. We are still waiting to find out where what's replacing Bill and Ted. They've only announced Academy of Hurricanes, and we'll have to find out. But we definitely are going to miss Bill and Ted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we still don't know where the 10th house is going to be. Don't see any tents going up in places that there haven't been. So when I saw them, I'm like, that's weird. I have no idea. Someone mentioned it might have been Terminator 2, but probably not. My guess is maybe they'll split a soundstage that has in the past been one house.
Yeah, possibly.
Or there's a pretty good chance it would be in one of the sound stages, or maybe they'll use a sound stage that they haven't in the past. I think Impact was there during Halloween Horror Nights last year.
Just before.
Oh, it was just before. I know it was somewhere around there. I mean, it might even be Soundstage 19. We're not sure. That's where not Legendary Truth, but the other ticketed out one that was like Legendary Truth.
Oh, the repository?
Yeah, that's where that was for 1 year.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, it didn't do very well. I'm like, well, because they charged a lot of money for people to go to something that a select few were able to do for free before.
Yeah.
I would like to see them try it again, but maybe make it a little cheaper.
The repository was actually pretty cool, though. I got to do it, and I thought it was great. I wish I could have done it a second time because, and I suppose there's no like spoilers for this, like nobody can do it now. There was a VR section of the repository where you go into, I think they call it the other world or something, and you could even see like the other players. I saw them just for a second. I could see like it was like a mask and a torch. So like their VR headset and their wrist, whatever it was. And I was up on a tower, like a small tower, and I was on top of it, and I was supposed to be looking around for stuff, and then the ground was like slowly crumbling away until all it was like this one like stone that I was on, and like just sky. And I was like, I wonder what happens if I step off, because like I was like, all right, I know where I am physically in the world, but in the virtual reality. And I was like, would I see a falling animation? And it's like, I didn't want to do the falling animation, so I just like stayed put. But like that was the point. It was meant to induce
fear.
Yeah, it was meant to induce fear. For me to be like, oh crap, I'm gonna fall. And actually did kind of feel that way. So like that's how good it was. And there was like a 4D element because like the other attendants, they had like feather boas, and they would go like this, and because like birds were supposed to be flying by, so they would go like this, and like the birds like wings flapping by you. It was really cool. So that's where it was. It was the Blue Man Group VIP room, which Blue Man Group wasn't performing during Horror Nights, like that late at night, and the VIP room was empty, so like they could use it. It wasn't that big of a room. Like it's a big room, but it's not as big as the sound stages. So maybe maybe that's where it'll be, like in the Blue Man Group VIP. Who knows?
Yeah. But I was thinking like the other side of Soundstage 19. I don't know. We really, that's just our best guess. We're gonna have to find out too.
Yeah.
I don't like that. It doesn't look like there's gonna be an icon this year. Which is unfortunate. I like when they have an icon. They didn't. They kind of had one last year, but not really officially. Like,
well, he didn't really have a name. It was just that giant skull guy. But like, if you can tell me his name, I don't know his name.
I thought it was Scully Crow.
Oh yeah. So like, and like even the for this character Johnny, like one of his minions was they didn't really have like strong names like Jack the Clown or the Usher or the Storyteller or the Caretaker. It's just like, and he didn't seem like very defined as a character, but that's okay. I do like when they have like the strong, defined icon, like I am the Usher. Do not be rude in my theater.
Yeah, and then I think I mentioned this last time. I forget, but there's a lot of big anniversaries coming up too.
Mm-hmm.
So next year in '99 is going to be 20 years for Islands of Adventure, City Walk, and Portofino Bay, which is their first on-site hotel. And then 1 year later is going to be the big anniversary for Universal Orlando, and of course Halloween Horror Nights 30.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think it's also going to be our 10th anniversary of covering Halloween Horror Nights.
30 will be 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Phenomenal Brandy said they should make a scary 80s looking guy be the icon like Max Headroom. Phenomenal Brandy, speaking of Max Headroom and going off topic just a little bit, look up, I forget what to call it. It's the TV hijack Max Headroom incident. And what it was an old school hacker, or like a small group of hackers from the 80s. So like way back when, they hijacked a TV broadcast, and there was a guy in a Max Headroom mask saying a bunch of crazy nonsense, and it was like 2 minutes of airtime, and then that was it, and the dude was never caught. But yeah, like, there's going to be a very strong 80s theme for Horror Nights. They've got Vamp 85, Stranger Things takes place in the 80s, and Dead Exposure Patient Zero takes place in the 80s, so we're thinking that there's going to be a strong 80s like overall theme to Horror Nights this year.
Right, and they've announced the scare zones as well.
Oh, yeah. Twisted Tradition.
I don't know if that's the theme or if that's just part of the marketing or what. But of course, the big one so far has been Stranger Things and Trick or Treat, which was a pretty cool zone last year. Now it's going to be a house.
Yeah.
That's a movie that I think you have seen.
Yes.
And the website right now looks like an old 80s TV with VHS copies of movies stacked on top, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, which is why we're thinking a strong overall 80s theme.
So.
But yeah, I like Trick or Treat. I think that's a really cool movie.
And also, there were rumors of last year. That's why I said it before. Like, don't rely too much on a leaked map because there was rumors of a Vamp 55 sequel Scare Zone that didn't end up happening. But it is happening now. It's a Vamp, I think 85.
Yeah, 85.
Thought there'd be a little more information on the website, but
from what I know, 80s punk and 80s metal theming. So like the vampires are gonna look like 80s punks. So a lot of dyed hair, a lot of spiked collars, and probably a lot of 80s punk bands and metal bands. So expect Black Flag, expect Dead Kennedys, expect the 80s rock bands. Oh, The Harvest.
Yep, and then The Harvest is going to be, forget exactly, I think that's going to be over in the area where Trick or Treat was last year. And also Twisted Tradition, so don't know too much about that quite yet. But we'll try to be prepared, next time.
Well, I mean, they don't tell us that much. I know The Harvest is going to be Pumpkinhead guys, and it says feeded vines, so like maybe vine people running around, kind of like if you went into Dead Waters, there were like some bush people or vine people running around, like maybe that kind of thing. The Pumpkinhead guys, like we've seen like here and there over the years, and Twisted Tradition looks kind of like a compilation. The description doesn't say much for Twisted Tradition. Just that it's they're looking for a harvest of blood.
I'm sorry. Twisted Tradition will be in the Central Park area, which is now under construction for the new cinematic celebration show. They're putting in seating for that to instead of just being all around the lagoon, which I kind of preferred, because then they use the whole lagoon. But that's they're moving away from that.
Yeah.
And then of course, Academy of Villains will be in the same area where the shows have been the past few years until the hurricane comes, and then we'll see if it breaks the stage or what happens. But initially, it's going to be set up in that area where the C show is, right around the Mel's Die-In. And I'm guessing that the event 85 is going to be in Hollywood again.
Yeah, that would make sense.
It says, for The Harvest, an old barn is a setting of every kind of horror. Its walls are decorated with ominous objects and images from each house, hinting at the horrors to come. So hopefully it won't be like the that awful Scare Zone last year.
The Icons of Horror?
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to kind of like that, which seemed like it could have been a cool thing, but it wasn't.
It was all right. It was an okay Scare Zone. Then Twisted Tradition is where the Pumpkinheads and the Vines are going to be. Also, High Uniquely Universal and High Bobo 567.
8.
No, 5. Just 567.
That's his thing. He
5678.
I have no idea what it's from, but it's his thing. So that's what we know so far that we can say. There's a few things that are happening that we can't talk about, but publicly, that's all we can say. It's around July, I believe, late July, that they start actually transforming the park itself. But they can't do too much because they have, I'll call it by its proper name. They have the Christian.
Rock the Universe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they set up all this horror and blood and guts, and they have to cover it up because it's right before. It's the weekend before.
Yeah.
But they start changing out lights, and you think we will get an IT house, or maybe an IT house?
No, she means that, as in the 2017 movie.
I don't know. I mean, technology is pretty scary to a lot of people. And if they have computers that are malfunctioning and like PowerPoint presentations that crash in the middle of a seminar, that could be much more terrifying than clowns and monsters and stuff. So an IT house, maybe.
Yeah, we're all thinking it was a really big.
CJ.
Yeah, like Pennywise said. It was a really big movie, so we're thinking, yeah, probably. There's also a Purge movie coming up, so we're also thinking that
Again.
There's going to be a Purge house or scare zone, but none of that is official. It's all speculation.
They did start pretty early this year with their revelations, unlike last year, which went really late. But so far, they've got 10 houses to announce, and they've announced
3.
Yeah.
And 3 zones, right?
5 zones.
Oh,
well, they're going to be 5 zones. I don't know if they've announced all of them, but I don't know what the ratio is going to be between original and IP. I'm not sure if the 10th house is going to be IP or original.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Sometimes the IP houses are the best ones. Like Dead Waters was amazing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the Scarecrow house was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But and they were pretty popular. Unlike I can't believe I forgot the Tomb of the Ancients.
Yeah.
Was a great house, but there was almost never anybody there.
Yeah.
And I know that people said it was very cramped, but
that was the point.
And it had to be because they put a lot of house in a very small tent.
Yeah.
I'm always amazed when you look at the outside of the tent. It's like the TARDIS. When you look outside of the tent, and you walk through the house. I'm like, how do they fit this inside this small space?
Mm-hmm.
But they always do. Yeah. Pennywise from the 80s?
The first movie was 1990. And they never explicitly say when the events of the It movies happen. But there were a lot of callbacks to the 80s in the new movie.
Yeah.
Like somebody had a New Kids on the Block poster on their door.
Yeah.
Which, and that made for a funny moment.
I actually was supposed to work in the Scarecrow house. I wish I did. Here's a thought. What was that movie that was set in the 80s that I think Steven Spielberg was involved with? There was something about VHS tapes or something. Okay. Well, that didn't work.
I don't know. Oh, are you talking about Poltergeist?
No, that Poltergeist is from a long time ago. It was set in the 80s.
But it was from recent years?
Yeah. Does anybody out there know which one I'm talking about? I thought you would know that because it's a movie that's a horror movie.
It has to do with VHS tapes? Talking about The Ring?
Steven Spielberg, did he have something to do with that?
I don't know. I just know that when you say VHS tapes, I'm thinking about horror movies and VHS tapes, and yeah, I liked Scarecrow 2, Uniquely Universal. That was a really good house. It deserved House of the Year. If you don't know, Scarecrow, the Reaping got House of the Year, and Trick or Treat got Street Zone of the Year, and both deserved it. Yeah, I don't know what this VHS movie is.
No, I'm looking that up, so
All right.
go ahead and... I guess he was involved in Poltergeist. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Toby Hooper was actually the credited director of Poltergeist, but many people speculate, and there's even been some confirmation that he actually directed. He was supposed to be a producer, but like ended up actually directing.
He was involved in the Blues Brothers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't you remember his cameo in the Blues Brothers?
No.
He's the guy.
But that doesn't mean he had anything to do other than being a cameo.
Yeah. But when they actually get to the office, and he comes back, he goes, "Hey, can I help you?" And they pick him up and put him on the desk. That's Steven Spielberg.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. I was like, what's that?
Yeah, I don't know. So horror movies. All right, help me out, guys.
I think he was in. I think it had something to do with him.
Well,
It was in the last few years, and it had something. Super 8.
Oh, okay.
I knew it had something to do with like old video technology.
Okay.
Wasn't
okay.
Super 8 a horror movie?
Yeah, but I never saw Super 8.
Scary movie?
Yeah, at least a scary movie.
And that was set in the 80s, wasn't it?
Maybe. I never saw Super 8,
Wow.
so I don't know anything
This is
about
going
it.
really well, isn't it? Because it's from 2011.
Yes. Okay.
And Spielberg was part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure it had something to do with... It was set in the 80s. So I'm thinking if that's considered a scary movie, and it's Universal, and Steven Spielberg is involved in it, pretty good chance.
Yeah, maybe so.
We'll see.
Maybe so.
It
We also have an icon who tends to use a Super 8.
True.
The director.
Yeah.
Yeah, his camera of choice is like this little old Super 8 thing, and you can even hear it whirring and clicking.
Yeah. I actually met somebody, one of the people who used to play the director, and he actually had the camera with him.
Yeah.
That I guess he bought for the part, or he bought because he played it, or whatever. But we saw him the one time walking around. He was kind of dressed like the
Director.
Director, yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
But he wasn't working that year. That was when we found Legendary Truth was still going on.
Mm-hmm.
But that was something we just found by accident one time.
Yeah.
So, again, if you're watching this, you've already saw the beginning. But Ready Player One, okay, could be.
Yeah, maybe so.
Isn't that? That's not scary though.
Ready Player One wasn't scary, but you could definitely take Ready Player One and the VR reality of it, and I just said virtual reality, the VR aspect, and do like something scary with it, like I don't know, going into a glitch zone or something like that. And
I just hope that they have that 3D that tunnel that spins around that for some reason wasn't anywhere last year, and I hope they have a 3D house.
Oh yeah,
especially with an extra house. I've been meaning to do a review with like 3D stuff in the background, but I always forget or can't think of something to use. So we'll see. Again, if you missed it earlier, just leave a comment in the section below. Unfortunately, the live chat doesn't seem to show up. As soon as the stream is over, I can't see the comments ever again.
Yeah. But that was phenomenal. Brandy's idea was the Ready Player One VR house.
Yeah. But if you leave in a comment over here, we'll probably read it. But yeah, let us know what day and time works best. Our first stream had a lot more interaction, which is great.
Yeah.
So probably just pick the right day, or who knows. it's a little harder for our schedule on the weekends, but I know that other YouTubers stream during the week, and they have like crazy chat. So I don't know what everyone's schedule is around the world, but I think that's going to be a short one today, unless you have something else.
No, let's go ahead and wrap up. Thank you all for coming, and thank you all for the comments and the ideas and the questions and suggestions. Yeah, so this one pretty smooth. Not so bad.
It was pretty terrible in the beginning,
But
that's because I had to run and get some donuts, and
yeah, but it's
by the
all
time
right.
I got back, and then I had to set the shot for you and everything, and that was like right before we went live, and then I hit the wrong button. So
Bye,
anyway,
Brandy.
thanks for joining us, and we'll try this again probably about 2 weeks. But next week we are going to try something also interesting, and we'll I guess announce it now.
Okay.
Is I'm going to try it the first time on this channel just to see how it works and to show you guys. But I created another YouTube channel called Board Games Live. It's basically like a Let's Play for video games. Same idea, but with board games.
Mm-hmm.
And Board Games Live was not taken, so it's now taken.
Yeah.
And so that means I'm going to have to start a new channel with 0 subscribers. But yeah, we're going to do that probably next Wednesday or Thursday, so check that out. And then once it's up, like I said, we're going to start putting them up after that on the new channel. So thanks for joining us here, and remember, you can always buy merchandise in my actual gift shop from Spreadshirt. And thanks for watching this all the way through, and please exit through the chat shop.